Alright, this is my Criterion haul for the recent sale. I only went into the store one time. My store doesn't have a ton of stuff. They've gotten somewhat better, but still nowhere near what they had years ago. I got the Window Carius. I was really wanting that to come back into print because Cohen Media had it, but it went out of print and went out of print before I got it, so I was happy Criterion got it. I got Basquiat on 4K. I saw that many years ago. I remember renting it. I remember the guy at Blockbuster tried to talk me out of renting it, but I did enjoy it, so I was glad to get that. Funny Girl, which I didn't plan on necessarily upgrading. I have the DVD. I wish I hadn't bought it in store because Amazon has that for $15 for the 4K right now. I think that's the lowest I've ever seen a 4K Criterion. Killer of Sheep on 4K. This is one I almost got last time but didn't. Demon Pond on 4K. I was really happy when they announced this because this is one of the great screwball comedies and probably Mitchell Eison's greatest film, Midnight. And then I got a couple of Sean Baker films. Prince of Broadway, which I have never seen. I have also not seen Honora yet, but I got the 4K of that. And then finally, I got the 4K box set, the Truffaut set. I was happy to see that come back into print. I only had 400 Blows, which is probably my favorite Truffaut film, along with Shoot the Piano Player, which needs a upgrade. Then on Barnes & Noble website, I got a number of films because, again, the selection in store was limited. If it's in stock in BarnesandNoble.com, I would rather get it on Barnes & Noble than through Amazon. I got Night Moves. I had that on DVD, but wanted to upgrade it. I got the documentary Life and Times of Harvey Milk. I was really happy when they announced this one because I wanted it to be on 4K, and the Blu-ray I had was the studio Blu-ray, which was in the wrong aspect ratio on top of it. That's Barry Lyndon. So to get it in the correct aspect ratio and on Criterion, very good. And then finally a couple of, well, I got one more Criterion. This is another one I rented years ago and haven't seen since, but remember enjoying a lot. You Can Count on Me. Then two Janus contemporaries, All We Imagine Is Light, and the double feature, Room 666999. And then I did another order from Barnes & Noble online. We got one Blu-ray. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. And then these, perhaps I might regret ordering some of these, but I was going through the Eclipse sets, of which I had probably about half of, and noticed some of them had gone out of print. So I decided to start ordering, trying to fill out my Eclipse collection. And then, of course, a couple days after that, they announced that they're bringing it back and upgrading some to Blu-ray. But a lot of these, I highly doubt they're going to ever upgrade to Blu-ray. Like that, you know, he's a Yugoslavian filmmaker. I doubt that'll ever get upgraded to Blu-ray. Rafael Matarazzo, Runway Dramas. Again, I doubt these would be, I doubt they'll upgrade the Runaway Melodramas to Blu-ray. George Bernard Shaw film, I got mostly for Major Barbara. Jean-Pierre Guerin. This one I could see them upgrading to Blu-ray, but is it really going to make that much of a difference? Probably not. The first films of Kurosawa I've thought about getting for years and years, but didn't because I could have seen a Blu-ray box set like the Bergman one. But I finally just figured the hell with it. I already had the post-war Kurosawa set. This is another one I highly doubt they would ever upgrade to Blu-ray anyways. And same with this. This doesn't seem like a title they would upgrade. The one that I have that I hope they do upgrade is the late Ozu set, because it has a number of his color films in it, and I think it would be worth upgrading those. Most of the other ones I have no interest in upgrading the Lubitsch set or the Carlos Saura set, both of which I have. I'm fine with those on DVD. And then finally, these I got off of Amazon because either they were cheaper or Barnes & Noble didn't have them. Barnes & Noble never had the Sorcerer 4K online. It was sold out. The Big Heat 4K I got on Amazon because it was considerably cheaper. They had the 4K for $20. Of course, the disc arrived loose inside, so I had to open it to make sure the disc wasn't damaged. They had Thelonious Monk for $17, so I went ahead and got that on Amazon. When I went to Barnes & Noble, I stopped by a local store called The Exchange that sells a lot of used CDs and Blu-rays. They had the Overlord Blu-ray for $15, so I went ahead and picked that up. It was in perfect shape. And then finally, more Eclipse sets that I got on Amazon. They were sold out of the Louis Mall and the Oshima sets on Barnes & Noble, so I got them both from Amazon. I could see them upgrading those two, but oh well, too late now. I'd been wanting the Louis Mall one since it came out, but I never got it for some reason, even though it was the second one, and I have a whole bunch of other Eclipse sets. And then more recently, like literally I got them, I think the day they announced they were bringing back the Eclipse sets. I went ahead and got the Robert Downey Jr. set, Robert Downey Sr., William Klein, and Cloud Up and Laura. I don't think they'll upgrade any of those three, especially the Downey Sr. and Klein sets. And then finally, two non-Criterions that I got because of the 50% sale at Barnes & Noble. Two Radiance titles. I have not seen that, but it looks very interesting. And finally, a film I've wanted to see since it won the Palme d'Or with Taste of Cherry. It shared it that year. And I remember watching the ceremony back on Bravo, back when the Bravo channel was actually an art and film channel. And that's The Eel. And that's it.